Tartaria tablets, Sumerian symbols between Christarchivo and Vincitur cultures Part 2. The second tablet has a rectangular shape remaining of a field, land, and round hole in the upper center remaining on sky and stargazing, so the theme of the signs will be the farming calendar, agricultural year, care for the plants and cattle. Care will start in autumn when the Pleiades show in the sky, the first sign on the upper left. Fields should be hand-plowed, hay for cattle prepared. The right time was determined by checking the position of constellations, hand-plow, Lyra and hay trough, Hercules, in the sky. In the years around 5400 BC, Lyra and Hercules functioned as an astronomical clock, circling during 1 year between the zenith of the sky and the point in the far north.
Important point in the year for the ancients was the winter solstice, the time when the old sun was dying and the new sun was reborn, the beginning of the New Year cycle. So in the middle upper part of tablet we can see symbols of constellations Sagittarius and Capricornus, which arouse an ecliptic before the sun was seen at dawn in Pisces/Swallow constellation during winter solstice on 29 January 5400 BC. As befits for the New Year's time, below are signs with good wishes for next year for plants growing and young livestock multiplying. Livestock correspond to the Sumerian cuneiform Amar. In the right upper corner of the tablet we can see constellation Auriga with short lines above, as description of its visible position as anti-center of the Milky Way galaxy, or description of first registered origid meteor shower. This meteor shower is attributed to the debris from comet Kais passing through Earth's orbit. That comet takes circa 2,000 years for each orbit around the Sun. Auriga was on the west horizon during winter solstice when Sagittarius, center of the Milky Way, was coming in on east. Today its name is translated as a charioteer. In Old Babylon it was Rukubi chariot, earlier name was shepherd, goat herder. If name came from cuneiform Dura, it would mean heavenly goat, and its milk would be creating Milky Way. More of this theory for third tablet explanation. In the sky below constellation Auriga was constellation Uranus/Orion, so the same is on the tablet. Goddess of that constellation was Sumerian fertility goddess Inanna, so constellation form is similar to Sumerian symbol for food and bowl sheeter. Name Inanna could come from Nin, an Alaska, Lady of Heaven. As Akkadians changed Eshta to Ishtar, I would propose original name as En-Anna, ruler of heaven. And the tablet message to her from Shamanus would be in the new year, please fill our fields with plants and livestock.
The bones in the cult pit belong to a female of 50 to 55 years old. The height is 147 centimeters, indicative of a small Neolithic farmer woman. Bone features indicate a Mediterranean type, possibly Anatolian or Levantian origin. She was very ill. She was a cult leader. Her tablets were inscribed with symbols of sacred knowledge and were taboo, forbidden for regular members of the tribe. Before death she did not ensure for the sacred tablets to be transported to another shaman or shamaness, as I believe was the practice, so the tablets ended in the cult pit. It was the transition time 5400 BC between Christarchivo and Vincitur culture. The old culture was plowing with hand plows, growing mainly barley. The new culture, brought by immigration and culture diffusion, had introduced common wheat, oat and flax to temperate Europe. These innovations increased crop yields and allowed the manufacture of clothes made from plant textiles. Many of the largest Vincitur sites occupy regions dominated by soil types that would have required plowing. Chapman John took it as indirect evidence that Vincitur farmers made use of the cattle-driven wooden plow. They also introduced the use of dairy products, milk and cheese. So it was possible that shamaness of Tartaria was the last in the Christarchivo circle of shamans. She did not have an inheritor to take over her knowledge and instrumentaria, so she has decided to take tablets with her to the grave. Because of that we have a possibility of insight in their sacred knowledge, which gave them knowledge of a calendar, vital for work in agriculture and for locating holy days, spring equinox, summer solstice, full moon.